What am I doing? We gotta do another anti-haul. If you're somehow unfamiliar with this type of video, these always need a disclaimer so I don't get sued. This is going to be a video expressing what I am not going to buy. This does not mean that these products are not good. It just means that for whatever reason, I've personally decided not to buy them. You can buy them. You may already own them and enjoy them, and that's totally fine. This is just kind of an anti-consumerism video, the type of videos that kind of offset the many videos on YouTube that push you to buy more stuff, especially more stuff than you need. I want to start this video by telling you guys a little bit about who I am as more than just somebody who took their inspiration from the 90s when getting dressed this morning. I am a very blunt person. I like to tell things exactly as they are and to not sugarcoat them. I think that because of that, I can come off a little abrasive at times, but there's pros and cons to that being part of my personality. I am the friend that if you take me out, I will make sure you are having a good time. I will constantly be like, is that guy bothering you? Are you good? Do you need me to buy you a drink? That's who I will be. And on the other side of the coin, I will also tell you when your boyfriend sucks. He sucks. You're better than he is. You need to leave him. It's just who I am. If you don't like people who come off that way, you might not like me, and that's totally okay. That's totally okay. My feelings are not hurt. I'm not for everybody, and I know that. Okay, let's start. I want to start with the Sephora VIB Rouge Play Box. I think it's called the All-Star one. This is the second in their series of $20 luxury, not quite subscription boxes, but kind of add-ons. I'll show you guys a picture so you know what I'm talking about. So what this box is it's supposed to be kind of an add-on to the Sephora Play subscription box. It's currently only available to VIB Rouge, I believe to VIB as of today, meaning people who've spent a lot of money at Sephora. And it's supposed to be, I believe, 5 or 6 luxury samples. It's a bunch of samples and a blind buy at that. You don't know what you're buying, but you're still spending $20 on what's supposed to be worth a lot more than $20. I think that one of the problems with these subscription boxes is that all of them promise you more value than your dollar, sometimes 4 or 5 times what you paid. But the problem with this is an artificial sense of value. Even if a product has a numerical value attached to it, that does not equate to the amount of value that it will have to you within your own life. Now, I sat down one day and took out all of my items from my BoxyCharm and laid out a $20 bill next to them. And I decided, after looking at the contents and looking at my $20 bill, that for me personally, it is more valuable for me to keep my $20 and spend it on something that I really wanted. That adds up really quite quickly. And I've now been unsubscribed from boxes for about 3 months. That's about $120 extra that I've been able to buy products that I really wanted. I don't want to go off too much on that tangent. This box is a $20 box full of nothing but luxury samples. Now, this is great if you're really into luxury brands, but I think I'm seeing an intersection between the kind of people who would buy luxury and the kind of people who it's not really the right audience. So for example, myself, I've tried a lot of luxury brands and I can personally tell you that they have not been for me. I even have a video talking about this. Luxury brands don't appeal to me because they give you a more subdued makeup look. And for me, I have 2 types of makeup looks. One is absolutely no makeup and the other is a bold makeup look. The in-between, while that's fantastic for somebody in an office job, for a professional, you know, the kind of person who's making $100,000 a year and can buy luxury products, that's great. But for the rest of us who are doing a more trendy almost type of makeup look, I don't think this is going to be the best investment for your money. In the same vein, we're seeing a lot of this, well, the last box was sold on eBay for an inflated price, so I better hurry up and get it now while it's $20 instead of once the price goes up. This is such a fascinating concept for me because while Sephora and Ulta like to tell you that they're not into the resellers, they benefit very significantly from them exactly for this reason. It's all part of this complex game of you need to buy this because it has some artificial value attached to it. No, instead what I'm saying is you need to sit yourself down and ask yourself, do I really want to click buy, to not feel myself spend a $20 bill, but to just click buy, pretend that the money isn't actually being taken out of my account, and end up getting a bunch of samples that may not even be up to par with my particular makeup taste. With the whole subscription box world, I guess I just feel, as somebody on the other side now, I can tell you, you may be afraid of FOMO, but once you actually cut the cord, it's kind of like, have you ever been in that type of relationship where you're dating somebody who's a really nice person, everything is fine, except you're really bored in the relationship? If you've ever gotten out of one of those, then you know that you're better out of it, even if it was real smooth sailing, because there's really no point in just spending your time being comfortably bored. That, to me, is what subscription boxes had become. Now, I'm not saying this is everybody's experience. I'm saying this is my experience as somebody that spent 3 years getting samples. I finally just had enough one day. I cut the cord, and I haven't looked back. I really haven't. Guys, I cannot possibly make this video and not talk about KKW Beauty, Kim Kardashian West. Oh my gosh. I'm not really sure I've kept up with all of it, but from what I understand, first there were 4 lipsticks that were all named after her own nicknames. Then we had these contour sticks that were sticks sold in a plastic bag for $60. And now we're on to contour powder kits. And from what I've seen, and please know that I really haven't spent a lot of time looking at this product because I'm never gonna buy this. This is not of interest to me. But from what I've seen, it looks like they all lean way too warm. Like if you're a cooler toned, fair individual, you're SOL. It's not gonna work for you because Kim Kardashian obviously is a more warm toned person. She obviously chose warmer colors. Again, because she's coming from her own personal perspective. Who's letting her do this? This has just got to be such an insult to other makeup brands and in particular indie brands. It's got to just be a kick in the teeth in terms of, you know, you guys are out there producing these really good, high quality products with a ton of effort behind them and desperately trying to break even in the makeup world. And yet here comes somebody who's got tons and tons of fame and popularity, and they're coming out with makeup items that nobody needs. We all have multiple contour kits. They're coming out with them at these inflated prices and everybody's buying it? I don't know, in my personal perspective, it's just really weird. It's weird. I'm now seeing the Smashbox contour kit is down to $17.50 on the Sephora site. Lorac just ran a 60% off their contour kit. I mean, these are big makeup companies that are now struggling to sell their own contour kits while hers is selling out at, is it $50 or $60? I don't know how much it is, but it's still selling out. Man, I'm having flashbacks of high school when the popular people could just run absolutely rampant doing whatever they wanted and nobody stops them. Even to me, this whole thing kind of reminds me of how if you really want to be successful in your job, you know, you can work hard, do a good job, put forth your best effort, or you can suck someone's oysters. Oh, we gotta talk about the Pure Cosmetics My Little Pony palette. Now, this is a whole collection. The only one that really appealed to me was the eyeshadow palette. I almost bought this thing so many times. It was in my cart on multiple websites, but I never bit the bullet because I knew deep down that I wanted to see some reviews before I went for this one. And now that I've seen the reviews, I'm not gonna buy it. Everything I've seen personally has indicated that it's a bit more patchy, it's not the best quality, and while it's also not the highest price tag, $29 for a palette isn't bad, you know, a non-drugstore palette. I don't think it's worth it. This appealed to me for 2 reasons. One being that I'm a 90s kid, obviously. I'm really into stuff that takes me back to my childhood, and I think this is something that you see specifically with people of my age range. I think it is really easy to target us with things that take us back to our childhood, because honestly, the 90s were great. They were a really great time. And so, yeah, we are the generation that we are more prone to buying cutesy things than I think even younger generations. The other reason I almost bought this palette is because I really liked the idea of having together that bright pink eyeshadow color, that gorgeous green, that blue, all of that together in one palette made me think, okay, I won't have to jump around for these colors. When the truth is, I have really high quality colors exactly like that in other places. It just requires me opening 3 palettes at a time. Oh my gosh, the struggle. I really think if you watch YouTube, you'll think that this is what you need to do with all of your makeup. I very rarely see a YouTuber do a get ready with me or a tutorial using more than one palette, but let me tell you, as somebody that does do a lot of bolder eyeshadow looks, I'm very often grabbing from 4 or 5 palettes at a time to complete a look, and it's not really that difficult. But it's a really great marketing ploy to tell people it's all in one. You won't have to open multiple things. You need to spend this $30 to get everything all in one, and it has a pony on the front. I guess with this particular palette, I can still see the appeal. I can really see how I think this is going to sell pretty well. I think it still is. But this is one of those instances of I don't need it and I'm not going to buy it. Great for you if you want it. I don't need a kind of subpar makeup palette when I have Viseart shades of a lot of those colors. It is August, and we're already seeing holiday releases. I already bought a holiday release. This is nuts. But this year, I'm gonna avoid the Too Faced holiday releases. Our newest release smells like potatoes and gravy, and we're worth $1.5 billion. Snuffles, you eat better than 80% of children on this planet. I'm about to touch on some real sensitive subject matter, so for this next section, please make sure that you listen to everything I'm about to say before you form an opinion on this topic, specifically on me and how I'm conveying this. So I'm going to talk about the Hurricane Harvey relief funds that are going on. First off, understand, I have family in Houston. I live in New Orleans. This could have affected me more than it did, and it did directly affect my family members. So yes, I think this is a very admirable cause. I really and truly mean that. I don't hold this against any of these makeup companies that are doing this. I think it's great. But please do understand that when you look at something objectively, you see all sides of the matter, including the fact that this is still tax cuts for all of these companies involved. Now here's my deal on this. I want you to be able to separate this from straight up consumerism. I very, very wholeheartedly support doing good with your money. And because of that, here's my views. I think that if you are watching a makeup company because you're specifically wanting a particular product, now is a great time to buy it. It really is. Maybe you're watching something that's $20, maybe $10 of your money will go towards Hurricane Harvey relief funds. That's excellent. That's great. You were going to buy it eventually anyway. Buy it now. On the other hand, if you're tempted to use this as a reason to impulse buy, I encourage you not to do that, because instead of the good that will happen in terms of donating money, here's what will happen. You will buy an item for $20, $10 of it will go to this organization, and you will end up having a product that collects dust. I think it is really easy to convince yourself to buy items for a good cause, but if you really, really, really care about the cause, instead, just like in my cruelty-free video, instead of donating to a second-hand organization to give that money to the first-hand organization, take your money directly to the source. I'm about to get really personal with you guys for this next segment. If you really want your money to go farthest and you're thinking about giving it to a nonprofit, if you take home absolutely nothing else from this video, please take this home. Do your research on the organization that you're donating to and make sure that they actually have a high percentage of your money that is going to the people who need it, as opposed to going into the pocket of a CEO. Here's my story. So I grew up poor. And when I say that, I don't mean my dad didn't buy me a BMW for my 16th birthday. I mean single mom, food bank, trailer park poor. Really, really poor. I was an angel on the Christmas tree. I remember very well writing out the doll that I wanted onto my little angel, it going off onto the tree, and then my mother getting the call to come and pick up the Christmas gifts. She got this box, I opened it on Christmas morning, and inside of my box was not a doll, but rather deodorant and nail polish. My mom called to ask what had happened, and she was told over the phone that a lot of times the gifts are stolen, and there's really nothing that they could do about it. It's just a loss, call it what it is. Sorry that a 7-year-old was given deodorant. We also had a church buy us a Thanksgiving one year. This was actually our church, so I remember the little tray being passed around the church. They were supposed to use that money to buy us a fresh turkey, fresh food, and on Thanksgiving Day, they knocked on our door and they handed us grocery bags full of canned food. Now, honestly, this one to me was not that devastating. Honestly, I look back at both of these and I think they're kind of funny, but I will say I think this particular one was really hard on my mom. I think that she had put a lot of faith into the church, and for them to do what they did, for all of that money to disappear and us to instead eat cold canned yams because we didn't have power, I think it was really hard on her. I've got a ton of stories, but I gotta tell you guys this one as well. We had a bank buy us a Christmas one year. I'm not really sure what the expectation was at the time. I remember, again, writing down that I wanted a doll, because I always wanted a doll. And I remember our Christmas morning so incredibly well. Every one of us, my mom, my brother, myself, we were spoiled. We were spoiled. We got at least 10 gifts each. We had this phenomenal dinner. I absolutely think this was the best Christmas that I ever had. And it was by a bank. Now, bringing this up to the hurricane victims, I think that this is a far more devastating situation than children getting socks for Christmas. I think this is the kind of issue where we really, really, really need to make sure that our money is going where it needs to go. And for that reason, I've decided I'm going to link in the description box below a couple of organizations that I do believe in, that I've done the research, and I do believe that they donate the vast majority of their money to the people who need it, rather than these CEOs sitting on, $6 billion incomes. I encourage you to donate directly to these organizations. Again, like I said, please understand, I do not hold this against any makeup companies that are doing this. I think the effort is there, but who are they donating to? You don't really know that. Do you really want to know that you spent $20 on your item, $10 of it went to this organization, and $9 of it went to a really wealthy CEO? Do you want that? I don't think you do. And because of that, that's why I encourage you, donate directly. Help these people out in Texas. They're really going through a lot, and you have the power to do it. Alright guys, that's all I'm going to anti-haul today. There's definitely some other stuff I'm not buying, but I've already seen it in enough anti-hauls, so hopefully mine was still a little on the different side. That's always what I try to do in my videos. If you did like this video, please give it a like. I'm sure it will get enough dislikes. So thank you guys so much for being here and watching this with me today, hanging out today with me. Hope you had fun. Peace out, guys.